All right, welcome to your first video. In this video, we're going to talk about the structure for this class. The syllabus title that you see here says Algebra 2. However, this will work for any math class, pretty much any math class that you're going to take with me because the structure is the same. So the first thing to know about this class is this is what I call a flipped classroom. And that means that we will usually do learning activities at home, usually through videos and notes. And then when we're in class, we will do practice assignments together. That way you have me as a resource to ask for help and to grow together. Okay, so we should be expecting a video to happen pretty much every day in this class. And so when you watch the video, you are expected to watch the entire video with the sound on before you come to class. And when you watch videos, with the exception of this one, you should have notes taken. So those will be graded when you come in. I am not expecting that you learn everything from the video the first time. However, you should do your best to try to learn from the video and make sense of what it is you're hearing so that you're as prepared as possible. And sometimes it's helpful for us to know where it is we're going to get stuck when we come to class. The daily notes, you should make sure that you take notes every single time you watch a video, except for this one. And notes should be complete. So that means including all definitions, diagrams, and examples. Again, these are to be done before class. And I try not to include anything extra. So if I give you 3 examples, they are very different from one another, and you should have all 3 of them copied down, unless I say otherwise in the video. Then when we come to class, we will work assignments together. We'll do a little bit of practice and recapping of the lesson, but the idea is that when we work assignments in class, you should be able to finish them or almost completely finish them while we are in class. If you are not working on task or you're not asking questions, it's possible that you will have things that go home, but that is not the intended structure. You should be finishing things before you leave this classroom every day. We will have quizzes about once a week. The structure for those will make a little more sense when we get there and have our first quiz. And then we will have exams. There's usually about 3 exams per semester. Sometimes that differs based on weather days or whatnot, but those will also be happening. The exams will cover everything that we have learned to that point, and so this is very important to note, there are no retake or correction opportunities for exams. So it is very important that we learn to study and prepare for those as best as possible. And the best way to do that is to do our stuff every day, not just pay attention when exam time comes. Okay, one more thing to note about videos before we move on. You can slow this video down. You can also turn closed captioning on. I'm talking very fast in this video so that it's not too long, but if you ever need to slow me down, there is an option to click and do that on Edpuzzle. All right, so as we look at grading procedures, I just wanted to go ahead and point out a few things. So notice that in the course grade overall, tests are going to be worth 80%. That is a very big number, so quizzes fall in that as well, but we need to make sure that we are doing our best to actually learn. If we are just checking the boxes of getting things done, quote unquote, that is not going to help us out. These practice activities and participation do help you. Together they make up about 20% of your grade, so that is 2 letter grades. However, it is important that we are working on learning and not just walking through the motions. Also, if you are, any of these courses you would be taking with me are EOC state courses, Algebra 1, Algebra 2, and Geometry. They are broken up into 3 parts, so this should be very similar to tests that you've taken in the past. There is a non-calculator part, and then there is a calculator part. So that to say, we will be practicing skills without a calculator on a regular basis because you need to be prepared for if those things show up on the non-calculator portion. Also, a note if you are taking Algebra 1. If you are taking Algebra 1, the exam for the EOC for this course is in the spring only. So you will not get a grade or an EOC part in the fall. The fall will just be based on this regular course grade, but in the spring you will get the EOC grade, and that is when you earn your official Algebra 1 credit. All right, now this next section is super important. One of the biggest factors for success in any math class, but especially in Algebra 1, Algebra 2, I have noticed is attendance. You have to be here. If you are going to miss excessive amounts of days, you are missing all of those learning opportunities, and you are building yourself gaps, which means you can't build a solid foundation on those things. So you need to do everything in your power to be here. Regardless of why you have missed, you are expected to have your work made up when you return to school. Now, I'm not saying that you won't have questions. You may have gotten halfway through a practice assignment and need to come and ask for help, and I absolutely encourage you to do that. You should come to tutoring that morning that you return and ask for help. You can also send me a Google chat and say, I'm really struggling on this, and I might be able to help you that way, but you really need to make it your priority to stay on track. If you have an excessive amount of absences, you need to email me or contact me as soon as absolutely possible so we can get you on track. No late grades is important to note. Aside from absences, no late grades will be taken for videos and notes. So if you don't watch the video, that's just a loss. I'm not going to go back and grade your notes or grade your videos late. All right, I do allow a late penalty for practice assignments and learning activities. However, this is not encouraged. You should be trying to get as much done on time as possible every single time. It is a 50% deduction for things that are not done on time. And as I said, those things should be completed in class anyway. So there's not really a great excuse for why things would be extraordinarily late. All right. As I said before, no retakes are allowed for unit or benchmark exams. The one thing I do want to talk about quickly is the retakes for quizzes. So you can retake quizzes. There is not specifically a form, but there are a few requirements that need to be met. Okay, so those stipulations are: you need to attend tutoring with your original quiz. Ideally, you would look at the things that you have missed and you would know what you have questions on before you come to tutoring. However, I do need to speak with you and know that you are okay to retake, because I don't want to spend time grading something that you're not prepared to do better on. Secondly, all videos and notes must be complete. Ideally, those would already be done ahead of time, but we do need to check and make sure that you're caught up on that. And then lastly, all assignments need to be complete to at least 80%. You need to have done those things and be prepared, like I said, to do better on the quiz the second time around. Okay, and then one more thing I actually didn't write here is that we need to do retakes in a timely manner. So make sure that you're trying to get your retakes done within 1 week of the original quiz. We don't want them to be lingering on there for months and months and then have a whole bunch that are stacking up on us. So because that can happen, we want to make sure that we prepare ourselves to do well on retakes the first time. If I feel like you are not doing what you need to do the first time around, or you are abusing the opportunity to retake infinitely, we will have a discussion and see if maybe we need to change paths so that you can be better prepared the first time and not have to rely on retakes at all. All right, so we do have an attendance policy this semester. It's an attendance incentive. And what this says is that if you get to the end of the semester and you have 5 or less absences, you don't have any missing assignments. That doesn't mean they're all 100s, but they're not missing. There's nothing that we've just not done. We don't have any discipline referrals, so we can't be like suspended for anything. You will earn the opportunity to drop your lowest quiz score for the semester. All right, which, remember, quizzes and tests are in that 80% bucket, so that's a big deal. To go with this, I just want to note that a classroom tardy or hall pass over the allotted limit each equals half a day. So we also need to make sure that we're coming to class on time and that we're not using excessive hall passes. You'll see on the last page of your syllabus that you are allotted 3 hall passes per 9 weeks. That is plenty generous. We can make that happen. We just need to be diligent with our time outside of class so that we can use our time well inside of class. Okay, I don't really have much to say about the rest of this page, except for that if you have any questions about this or about anything, honestly, don't wait to ask. Make sure that you're asking and reaching out to me or to any of your teachers for help when you need it. That's what we're here to do, but we can't help you if we don't know that you need help. All right, so lastly, let's talk about student expectations for this class. And again, this is for any class that you would be taking with me. So first, phones are prohibited during the class period. They should be placed in the phone holder at the back of the classroom. That is how I take attendance every single day, and it is expected that you will put your phone there. If you are caught with a phone not being put up there, you will be written up for not following the class rule and also for having your phone. So you will get hit twice. Please do that. Secondly, headphones and earbuds are prohibited. So remember that you should be using the corded headphones if we need them, and that would only be for instructional purposes. So if you need to watch a video or something, just talk to me. I have some of those you can borrow, but we need to make sure that we are following those rules. The expectations for just general students in the handbook, that is that students must submit work on time. You're responsible for checking yours. I'm only going to point out a few of these. You are responsible for checking your email pretty regularly and Google Classroom every day. All assignments will be posted through Google Classroom. So if you do not have those resources, your email or Google Classroom on your phone, that might be a good place for you to have them so that you're seeing notifications when things come through. Announcements will also be posted on Google Classroom. Students are responsible for emailing. Make sure you just reach out to me if you need help or if you're going to be absent or anything else. It is so important that you reach out and you are the initiator of that communication. It shows your teachers that you care and that you are invested yourself. If you have any issues, make sure you see Mr. Anderson. He will help you with your Chromebook. If you don't know who that is or where to find him, just let me or one of your other teachers know, and we will definitely get you connected. Sometimes your computer will have trouble connecting to the internet at home, even though it's working here. And so if that happens to you, please send us a message. I can send you kind of a quick fix, but we can get all that stuff fixed so that you have access at home because you definitely need it. All right, so this is another kind of school-wide one. Students may not use hall passes the first 10 minutes or the last 10 minutes, so don't even ask. And then you need to be coming prepared with your Chromebook and charger each day. All right, and then about this class specifically, so there's a few things. One, come to class prepared. I'm expecting that you have watched your video, that you have taken your notes, and that those things are out and ready when you come in. When the bell rings, we are getting ready to start. You're not sitting there waiting on me to tell you what to do. We need to be ready when the bell rings. All right, next, I really need you to pay attention to due dates. If you come to class not prepared, you haven't watched your video or taken notes, you're going to be confused. You're setting yourself up to be behind from the very beginning. That needs to be done. Also, you're going to have practice assignments every day. So you're going to continue to fall behind if you don't have those things done. And when quiz time comes, you're going to be in a place that you don't want to be. This is very important for Algebra 2 if that's the course that you are taking with me, because this class moves very fast and there is not time for you to slack off one day and then try to make it up. You need to be paying attention to your due dates and keeping up every single day. If you start to fall behind, you need to come to tutoring. And I'll talk more about that here in just a minute. Communicate. If you have trouble, this is announcements will be on Google Classroom, as I have already said. If you need help with anything, you need to email or send me a Google chat as soon as possible. Do not wait. If you have a question, don't think, oh, well, I'll just figure that out later. No, send me a message now. That doesn't mean I'll be able to answer your math question right now, but at least I know where you are and that it is important to you to get the help that you need. So please ask if you have questions or need help with anything. All right. Behavioral guidelines. I do not have time and I'm not interested in being distracted or being disrupted rather by your behavior. So I'm going to say that this is the first and foremost thing. All behavior should contribute to the learning of all students. So none of your behaviors should impact your own learning or anyone else's learning. What you do should be beneficial to everybody in the room. I am going to ask that you display a positive attitude. I know some of you are not math people, and I get that, and I'm not asking you to become a math person necessarily, but if you come in with a negative attitude, you're already counting yourself out. You've already decided that you've lost and you're not going to make success, and so there's nothing I can do to help that. So you need to make sure that we come in with a positive attitude. Always do your best. So one of the things you'll notice when you're in my classroom, there's a few signs in here that say hard work and being nice, but hard work, really, like, it is important to me that you put forth your best effort. I'm not saying that you're going to be a rock star every single time, but there's a difference between I'm doing my best and I'm struggling and I'm not really giving forth my full effort and I don't really care that much. So I need you to come with your best effort and your best attitude every day. And then just make sure you're treating others with kindness and respect. One thing that I am going to point out here is you need to leave things better than you found them, especially if you borrow something. I do not mind for you to borrow a Chromebook charger. If you need to borrow like a marker for the day, if I'm giving you something, that is fine. I am happy to share those things, but you need to clean up after yourself and make sure that you put things that you've borrowed back where they belong. That's something I've kind of noticed over the last few semesters, and that's something that we need to correct. And that's true of anything in life. If you're borrowing something from somebody, you leave it better than you found it to show that you are grateful. Otherwise, you can't borrow those things anymore. All right, last few things. You are permitted 3 hall passes per 9-week period. That is very, very generous. I know there's some teachers that only do 3 hall passes for the entire semester, so you've got some leeway there. If you need to run to the restroom in between classes, make sure that you do that in a timely manner. So if you have to use a hall pass, use that. Remember that unused hall passes count as extra credit, but that excessive hall passes count against your attendance incentive, which means you won't be able to drop the quiz that you're looking to drop at the end of the semester. So as I've said, it's just really important to be here and to be in here. And so that leads us to our last thing, which is about attendance and absences. Remember, just limit those at all possible. Work is due the day that students return. Make sure you let me know if you're going to be out for an extended period of time, if you have the flu, if you catch COVID, if you've had a death in your family. Just make sure you communicate those things. And then lastly, this is really important, tutoring is available at 7:45 every day. Tutoring, you cannot come to tutoring during advisory. I have an advisory of my own, and I have a few clubs that are going on. So if you're coming for tutoring and you need to stay during advisory to finish a retake or something else, that's something that we can work on. But I do not need you showing up at my door at 8:10 or 8:05 and asking if I can help you. The answer is no. You need to be here at 7:45, and then I will do anything that you need me to do to help you get what you need for this class. All right, so if you have any other questions, please don't hesitate to ask. I would love to answer those so that we're all having the best semester possible. And this concludes your syllabus video.